Um, Probably just stay humble and be grateful for everything that comes your way, because you never know when the tables could turn.
Hold up, y'all.
Hold up, y'all. The day of the raid was straight up chaos for King Combs. Picture this. You're just chilling at your pop's crib, minding your own business, when suddenly a swarm of feds come busting through the door, like they're on some Mission Impossible type stuff. It's a scene straight out of a movie with sirens blaring, helicopters circling overhead, and flashbangs popping off left and right. King Combs must have been shook to the core, not knowing what the hell was going down, or if he was about to get caught up in some serious legal trouble. Word on the street is that the media was all over this raid, like white on rice, with news choppers flying above trying to get a glimpse of the action. Paparazzi were probably foaming at the mouth to snap pics of King Combs getting hauled off in cuffs. The public was losing their minds too, blowing up social media with all kinds of theories and hot takes about what Diddy must have done to warrant such a massive federal investigation.
Everybody knew that Puff took Tupac blueprint and changed Biggs and Bad Boy in image. I Get Around talked about how fly you was, how many girls you mess with, how many cars you drive, how much money you got, what you willing to do. He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had. Which, all right, some dudes would do that. You would never catch me wearing something else, something that somebody else got. He was knocking down all the women that he thought Pac was knocking down. And what I mean is having sex with them. Why would you want to have sex with women you know for sure a dude that was once cool with you was dealing with? That's that image. Because you got to realize, bruh, Puff and Pac was cool at one time. We know this. Mopreem said that they was going to sign the Bad Boy. So if he's going to sign to Bad Boy, it was because of Corey and them. I put that picture on the internet. I put the picture on my channel of Corey Jones. Is Corey Jones, Corey Jacobs? I think Corey Jacobs and Pac right next to each other. Those was the real bad boys of Bad Boy. You understand? Those are the ones who got the 16 to life sentencing. That Pac was going to go and be with them first. But then Mopreem said when it became just Big and Puff, because Corey and them went to jail, he changed his direction. But nobody know why Pac and Puff fell out like they did. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody know why. But Puff had an obsession with him for whatever reason it was, because he started wanting to act. He started wanting to rap. He had an obsession so bad that at his Grammy Award winning speech, he used the same speech that Pac used. That shit is crazy. So when I say I'm obsessed with talking about Puff and telling y'all the truth, who's obsessed with who? Pac had Sarah before Puff. Allegedly, he had Sally before Puff. And Kim had an obsession or liked Pac so much, she on the red carpet with Tupac's shirt on. Who's obsessed with who?
So you believe Diddy, he only got with Sarah Chapman because Pac, he had her at one point.
And it was a bet in the office. Sarah was messing with an NBA basketball player. Puff bet all the niggas didn't believe that he could get it within 2 weeks. $100. So she actually was a $100 bet that he got.
And who was the NBA player?
I think it was Gary Payton, allegedly. That's what he said. Somebody said, she messed with Gary Payton? I bet you I get it. I bet you I have it within 2 weeks. Me and him and Sarah went to this party in Chicago that he was hosting with the Streets Entertainment. And we went to the store called Cranberry and I forgot, Cranberry, and it's one of those stores like you get fragrance and you get candles, colognes and stuff like that. It's called Cranberry and something. And from that point on, yeah. But you gotta realize, Misa and Kim was friends. Misa and Kim was friends. He started dealing with Kim over Misa. Kim and Sarah was friends. I mean, hand to hand, pots and pans. They was close. They all used to, Sarah, Kim, and this other girl, I think she was from Atlanta. What's her name? It missed me right now. But they all used to hang together. So then he went from Kim to Sarah. He liked to do the friend thing. Looked like that.
In the middle of all this madness, poor King Combs was probably feeling like his whole world was crumbling down around him. One minute, he's living the high life as the son of a mega-rich rap mogul, and the next he's being detained by the feds with no clue what's going to happen next. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. It must have been a total mind trip for him, not knowing if he was about to get dragged into his dad's legal drama, or if he was going to come out of this unscathed. But here's the real tea. Can you even imagine the fear and uncertainty that must have been running through King Combs' mind in that moment? Like, what do you do when your own flesh and blood is under investigation for some heavy-duty crimes? Do you stand by your pops, no matter what, or do you start thinking about how to save your own skin? It's a tough spot to be in, especially when the whole world is watching and waiting to see how this whole thing is going to play out. Bottom line, the day of the raid was a straight-up nightmare for King Combs.
Because when they were in the room and they would go in the room with another couple, right? And I've seen some things happen in the jacuzzi. Like when I'm the only one could go to the room 9 times out of 10. When Puff was the one who, was in the presidential suite, I'm the only one allowed. I gotta watch the door. No one can get into that door. I'm the only one that had the pass key or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you would hear a boom, 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 a thump or whatever the situation is and stuff like that. Yo, what's up? Everything good? And sometimes they would open the door. I'm right there by the door. Sometimes you see things you don't want to see. Bruh, I knew about the butt plug fetishes because I saw that with my own eyes. I knew about him and Kim being swingers with other people, whether it was another male or another woman or a male and a woman together. I saw that with my own eyes. You got to realize is that after 2005, I didn't see anything that Puff was doing or what he didn't do. Puff had got addicted to opioid. And being addicted to those things bring other drugs on. I seen Puff smoke a cigarette. I never saw him smoke a cigarette. He was on the beach smoking a cigarette on YouTube. Then I seen him, smoking weed and drinking. I was like, that ain't the Puff I know. Drinking like he was and doing all like that. And that ain't the Puff that I knew. You understand what I'm saying? You got to realize he had a certain respect around me because I was his OG from the same gang. You understand? And he knew I was law enforcement. He knew I didn't play certain things. So he ain't going to do what he do around other people in front of me because he knew I'm going to check him on that.
Who can know it all better than your ex-bodyguard, right?
We were in Cancun, and we were on our way to the Island of Women. You understand? And this is all it was, bro. For whatever reason, dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. When he grabbed his trunk to pull us down, some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture and emailed it back to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams said she had him in a compromising position and like it was gay porn or something like that. And she was going to put it out. There was story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, those, those young boys that he had, a group B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry about not just him, other people. Jimmy Iovine. Ain't nobody talking about Jimmy Iovine. He got sexual charges and everything on him, but he got those publicists that's keeping it out off of CNN, is keeping it off the major news reports. Nobody's talking about that.
All this stuff about him having fetishes is true.
Oh, no doubt. Especially if he getting butt plugs in different flavors.
But speaking of butt plugs, right, I remember some years ago, Cameron, he did an interview and he told a story about how he went to Diddy house with mates.
Yeah.
And he found the dildo in the sink.
I think that was crazy. I think that was out of, and then May said that was Puff's. I think he said Mace said that was Puff's, but Mace was in the bathroom with it. I don't know what that was all about, man, but that was real weird to me. That was crazy.
Getting caught up in your famous father's legal troubles is the kind of thing that can seriously mess with your head and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. But here's the burning question on everyone's mind. How is King Combs going to respond to all this drama? Will he stand by his old man through thick and thin? Or will he be forced to distance himself to protect his own reputation? Keep watching, because the fallout from this raid is about to get even juicier.
There is a lot of reaction to the simultaneous raids on homes in Florida and California linked to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. At the same time the raids were taking place, Combs was spotted pacing at an airport. But where was he going? Here's Jim Murray.
I'm outside the hip-hop mogul's estate in the exclusive Holmby Hill section of Los Angeles. This is where federal agents conducted the surprise raid, which is reportedly tied to an ongoing investigation involving allegations of sexual assault and sex trafficking.
Here is where you wanna be.
Combs' ex, the singer Cassie, sued him last November for sexual assault. The civil suit was settled in just one day. He denies all allegations of wrongdoing. When you saw the size of these multiple raids, what did that tell you about the potential for charges being filed soon and an arrest impending?
Based on the size of the raid, I expect charges in a matter of days. This may be the beginning of the end for Diddy.
Today, we spotted private security at the estate with handguns.
All right, they just made their way in.
As the LA raid unfolded, two of Combs' sons were handcuffed and detained, routine in a raid like this. They were released without charges. As the feds swooped down on the LA mansion, a simultaneous raid took place at his waterfront estate on Star Island in Miami. Agents were seen loading a van with boxes.
Listen up, because King Combs is finally breaking his silence on this whole mess with his pops. And let me tell you, he ain't holding back. After getting caught up in that wild raid at Diddy's crib, Kings hit up Snapchat to set the record straight. He's out here telling all these accusers to stop with the cap, which is basically his way of saying they're full of it. King Combs is riding hard for his dad, making it crystal clear that he thinks these allegations are nothing but a bunch of lies and BS. But hold up, because this is where things get real interesting. See, King Combs speaking out like this could change the whole damn game when it comes to how people see this scandal. On one hand, him standing by his pops could make folks think that maybe there's more to the story and that Diddy might not be as guilty as everyone thinks. I mean, if his own son is out here defending him, then maybe there's some truth to what he's saying, right? On the flip side, though, King Combs going to bat for his dad could also backfire big time. People might start side-eyeing him like, of course he's going to defend his old man. He's probably trying to protect the family name and keep that money flowing. It's a tricky situation because no matter what King Combs says or does, somebody somewhere is going to have something slick to say about it. But here's the real question. What does all this mean for King Combs and Diddy's relationship? I mean, can you imagine the kind of pressure this dude must be under right now? On top of dealing with the feds, raiding his house, and getting caught up in his dad's legal drama, now he's got to worry about every little thing he says or posts online. One wrong move, and he could make things even worse for his pops or worse for himself.
What's going on with this, the P Diddy and Meek Mill and all these guys? So what is that all about?
Because deep, bro.
Diddy might be out of here, huh? I think Diddy's out of here.
Meaning like jail?
Nah, jail would be crazy, but I think like career-wise.
Canceled officially? Done?
Yeah, I think it's over.
I think there's a difference between being canceled and
being a criminal.
Yeah, it's a big difference, right? Because I don't know if R. Kelly got canceled.
Yeah. They keep canceling me for raping.
Yeah.
Yeah, weird. And I'm tired of
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I'm tired of people going.
I don't think it's canceling.
People keep going like, there's smoke and there's fire. No, the house is burnt down, bro. Diddy is that guy.
Yeah,
like everybody from Cassidy to the stories to the guy that just did the, he went to court and he's suing him and Lil Rod. And it's like, bro, there's a lot of information out there that's not good from his security guy that was Michael Jackson's security, that was the first guy in the scene when Mike died, to allegedly they're saying Diddy shot some dude and left and they just basically clean it up for him. It's like, bro, there's a lot of nefarious. How much gay stuff is going to come out with Diddy and Meek Mills? And bro, it's so crazy too. You guys know this. The moment somebody's like, man, he's done some gay stuff, from that moment on, every time you see a video and they just turn, you're like, oh, he's gay. He's gay, dude.
What are the actual facts of the story? Like, you've done some content on this. What do you actually know about
that
this?
much. I just know that there's like a lot of accusations. There's some, I guess, Me Too-esque stuff. Obviously, there's stuff with Cassie, maybe other people coming out. And but that being said, I think he just won a lawsuit with his like liquor company. So that he was at a, I don't know if that's even public, but rumors on the street he just won a,
he settles racism lawsuit against.
Yeah, it might be even for like a couple billion or something like that.
Oh, shit.
So he basically just got to stay out of jail. And then he can go off into the sunset.
Well, he settled with Cassie in like a minute, and that was his girl for like a decade or so.
I don't know if he settled with her in a minute. Like, in order for that information to hit the blogs, they're probably going back and forth for a while, and then he's not paying.
And she's like, I'm talking.
Well, I'm going to talk. And then they're like, no, you're not.
Okay.
And then she did, and now
30 million.
Yeah.
Just to be like, shh.
Within 24 hours.
Wow.
After she went public.
Wow.
Not even 24 hours. And then she came back and she said, we were able to settle things out, or I don't know what the words was she used. But, I'm all these other things that's going on with the guys and Meek Mill. Who called them out, by the way? Forget about Tate, but which rapper was it that went after, is it 50 that he has a problem? Who is the person that always goes after him?
50 is always going after. 50 is the man. But 50 is, and if you're on 50's bad side, bro, God bless you, man. May God protect you, because he is not letting that foot off your neck ever.
Yeah, with Floyd, Ja Rule, Floyd Mayweather, he does not play games, bro.
Also, one of the most charismatic dudes I've ever met.
No shit. So 50's developing a documentary on Diddy allegations, vows to donate proceeds
Wow.
Sexual assault. Can you hold it? When is this?
Dude, this guy's a troll.
This guy,
He's a troll.
no, he is unstoppable, man.
This guy.
Yeah.
This guy. I remember when he was doing the stuff with Mayweather. It's like, here, put the alphabet. I want him to read a book.
One page from a Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll donate 500,000.
And they were
both New
they were
Yorkers.
best friends, though. They were best friends, too. Like,
what was
really
the falling
close.
out?
Like, that's his business, man. I'll let him explain that to you. But, like, they were really close. So that's, I think,
is it a public story or no?
I don't know exactly. I don't know. I know he talked to me about something, but I let him share his business.
Okay. Yeah. To me, there's a part about 50 that gives me a man's man vibe.
Bro, he is.
That's the vibe I get from him. And even the way he edifies Eminem. You just got to love the way he edifies Eminem.
Just a lot of respect. A loyal dude who really understands people from a young age. From a very young age, understood social dynamics. Like, he told me, he was like, yeah, when I was like 12 or 13, I was raised by like old heads, and I was just observing them. You don't get to talk a lot when you're with the old dudes. So you're just kind of watching the power dynamics, watch how things work. Man, he told me some crazy story. I don't know if I can share, but yeah, I don't think he would be upset. He told me some story about, like, when he first got out of prison or something like that. Like, he had like a crew of guys, and he went from being the dude on the block to potentially being lower now, because other dudes rise when you get locked up. But he still had his crew, so he was getting paid whatever he was getting paid to be part of the organization. And he said in the beginning, he started taking all the money that he was making, all the money that he was getting paid, not in the beginning, after he got out, and he would pay it to his guys, so his guys wouldn't think that he wasn't still the man. So he's making zero, right? But his guys, he still needed them to realize, yo, he still got it like that. And he just understood at a very like basic primal human level what he needed to maintain the loyalty, the hierarchy, and the power position. And I'm like, you're like 17 at this fucking time? How the fuck do you understand that? So it's no surprise to me when I see him thriving in these different industries, but also like not at all sacrificing who he is. Like, he's still a wild dude on the internet and in Hollywood producing films. Like, he can really kind of say whatever he wants. It's quite impressive. I told him the first time I saw him, I was like, bro, what do you have on all these dudes in Hollywood?
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I don't even know what you talk about. Yeah. Dude, he's that guy.
But listen, to me, it stops with Diddy at the Tupac story. That's where it stops for me, because you go down the rabbit hole and you're just curious about a topic and a story. You keep going down, and then you bring detectives and you're talking to guys that were involved, and eventually like, yeah, no. And I was a kid, 2 days, 3 days, I would say, in high school was like days that I was startled, confused, in pain, hurt. Magic getting AIDS when he came out and did the HIV positive interview. Yeah. It was Michael retiring and he's stepping away from the game, and it was Tupac getting killed. Yeah. Those 3 days were the days where it's like, as a kid, you follow those stories. And I think, I don't know, a lot of people have Diddy's influence behind Tupac and Biggie, but I'm convinced guys like 50 probably have. I'm convinced the people that have the actual facts and influence on who was behind it, but for whatever reason, they're not coming out.
Let's not forget about the bigger picture here. The Combs family is like royalty in the hip-hop world, so this scandal could have major implications for their whole damn dynasty. If Diddy goes down, what does that mean for his kids and their careers? Will people still want to work with them? Or will they get blacklisted because of their dad's alleged crimes? The tea is piping hot on this one. Y'all, King Combs stepping up to defend his dad is a bold move, but is it the right one? Will it help clear Diddy's name or just make things messier? And what about King Combs himself? Is he ready for the fallout that comes with being ride or die for his pops in the middle of a federal investigation? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the drama is far from over. Brace yourself because the plot's about to thicken even more. Just wait until you hear how this scandal is impacting King Combs on a whole other level.
Yeah, so as soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you come to LA. Yeah, this gonna be yours. So every time you come to LA, it's a little dusty, but Come get the front shot of this.
Man.
Head out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down. You gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right, 16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Jess.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
One step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when you know, when you get 16. You good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
And then when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
The tea is still piping hot on this King Combs situation. Y'all, we've seen him speak out, defend his pops, and deal with the fallout from this wild scandal. But the real question is, what's going to happen next? Word on the street is that this could just be the beginning of a whole mess of legal drama for the Combs family. If the feds find any dirt on Diddy, it could mean big trouble for King Combs too. And even if he comes out clean, the social media streets might not be so forgiving. Folks love throwing shade and making judgments, especially when it comes to celebrity scandals like this. But it's not just about the legal and social consequences. This whole situation could have a major impact on King Combs' career too. Will people still want to work with him if his dad's reputation gets dragged through the mud? Will he have to distance himself from his pops just to keep his own name clean? It's a lot for a young artist to handle, and the pressure must be immense.
I could really give some tea on that.
Aubrey O'Day speaking out after Diddy's shocking house raid. The former Danity Kane member writing on Instagram, "What you sow, you shall reap," over video of Homeland Security raiding the embattled music mogul's LA and Miami homes Monday.
I'm outside Diddy's $40 million Holmby Hills pad. It's quiet now, but yesterday, media, SWAT vehicles, dozens of armed officials and investigators descended on the property, seizing boxes of evidence.
It's all part of an investigation for alleged sex trafficking. And now Aubrey's praying it paves the way for, quote, all of us victims to finally speak out on what we've endured.
Law enforcement had enough to get the search warrant. They maybe even have enough to get an indictment. And if so, I expect Diddy to be arrested in a matter of days and no more than weeks.
Show-stopping.
Aubrey quoting Diddy himself in the aftermath, highlighting this making the band moment in her IG story. Old Boy said it first. It gets
dark and lonely.
The MTV series is how they met before she and more members from the girl group signed with Diddy's Bad Boy record label.
So you're okay with your Danity Kane sisters?
Yeah, I'm the only one that talks to everybody.
Aubrey and company talked plenty in November, backing Diddy's ex Cassie in the wake of her lawsuit's sexual abuse allegations. Aubrey telling ET at the time, "I am in full support of Cassie."
Me and you.
It isn't easy to take on one of the most powerful people in the industry. ET's reached out to Diddy's reps for comment.
More money, more problems.
Diddy and Cassie quickly settled their lawsuit last year, but it's worth noting sex trafficking was among her allegations.
You can hate me now.
Meanwhile, it's unclear where the rapper is as all of this unfolds. He was reportedly scheduled to leave for a trip to the Bahamas.
If under indictment, a judge will issue an arrest warrant, which means that he can be arrested whether it's here in the United States or in the Caribbean.
Meanwhile, Diddy's rival, 50 Cent, who's producing a documentary on Diddy's sexual assault allegations, is also giving his take on the raids. Writing in a now-deleted Instagram post, "They don't come like that unless they got a case." Alongside images of the heavily armed officers carrying out the bi-coastal operations.
They don't execute these types of search warrants until they have talked to witnesses, have gathered evidence, and they believe they have an ironclad case. Not only that, they have to get a federal judge to sign off on the search warrant. So I believe the case against Diddy is very strong. Ultimately, I think Diddy is going to be indicted by a grand jury. Diddy can be looking at a 10 or even 15-year mandatory minimum sentence for even one count of sex trafficking.
You got a lot of people, man, that's wondering why Farnsworth Bentley, why he hasn't came out and defended Diddy. They was real cool at one point, so.
Well, I was there when Farnsworth Bentley got his actual name. How they came up with the name and everything. We were sitting in front of the apartment building on 74th and Park Avenue. It was me, him, Tony De Niro. Puff was upstairs. They was trying to figure out he had became Puff, one of Puff's personal assistants. You understand? To make sure all Puff shit is there when we get ready to go. Everything that was supposed to be in order. That was Farnsworth Bentley's job. When Puff has to go to restaurants and places like that, you know, he made sure everything was straight with that. You know what I'm saying? And he had another assistant too. But Farnsworth Bentley was his personal assistant, put out his clothes, told him what he should wear, all that, like a stylist and personal assistant all together. You know? So we was in front of the house, and this dude, Tony De Niro, he played guitar in that Bad Boy for Life. The black dude, not the white guy. The black dude who played the guitar, that's Tony De Niro. I think he might be from California or something. So Tony De Niro was like, yo, we got to think of a name for you, man. And if you're going to be his personal assistant and slash butler slash umbrella carrier, whatever you going to do, you understand? We got to think of a name for you. We're going to try to make you like Bentley or either Farnsworth or either Bentley. You got to be, you know, you got to have that kind of persona. You got to dress all the time, be neat and the whole 9 yards. And then the dude, Derek, was playing with him like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know how to do that. I could be over the top. You know, he was acting like that. You know what I'm saying? I could be over the top. So he was saying that. And the dude, Tony De Niro, said, we got to figure out a name for you, man. It's got to be on the level of, you know, those characters. He said, you got to be like Farnsworth. You got to be like Bentley. He said, we're just going to call you Farnsworth Bentley. And he said, I like it. And they start calling him that. His name Farnsworth Bentley. I said, these motherfuckers corny. You know, like I was like, yo, believe this. But he was always right there, but not like at nighttime when we was at doing things, he wasn't around, bro. He was only there when the cameras was there and shit like that. You know, I don't know how much he could do. I don't know if he would say anything because he probably signed the ND, a non-disclosure, and he don't want to say anything against Puff anyway because Puff got shit on him. And I ain't talking about no sexual shit, none of that shit. The nigga was stealing, bro. Yo, bro. The niggas I don't want to put that on sticky fingers. That nigga right there, bro, don't lay nothing down around him. You heard me? Don't lay nothing down around dude right there. Dog, Jennifer Lopez had these boots, they cost $5,000. I'm like, what kind of fucking boots cost $5,000? Now you gotta realize this is like in 2000, early 2000. These boots cost $5,000. And because she was gonna be out of the country or something like that, she didn't have them come to her house down in the village because she would have never got it because they'd be stealing her stuff down there at our apartment. So she had them come to Puff house. She wanted these boots so bad, she was mad. They looked through everything trying to find Jennifer boots. Cause Puff had like Puff, people used to just give him shit and send him shit from everywhere. So he had this room, this mail room in his house with numbers just that he never even opened. But I don't know how Farnsworth Bentley found that shit. But we went over there to his house and we found a lot of Jennifer shit and everybody else's shit that belonged to Puff. I guess Puff had too much stuff in the room and he was just keeping them for it.
And you seen this with your own eyes? That's crazy, man.
My own eyes, bro. We went to his apartment.
He don't even seem like that type of dude, yo, but damn.
Security also, we went over there, man. They had to do shit, bro. And that's why Puff had stopped messing with him. And then he goes get a show. Puff ain't say nothing. He went and got a show of how to be teaching thugs how to be the gentleman. I hope the first thing he taught them motherfuckers is, don't steal.
From Jaguar, right? And I want to get your opinion on it. She told a story about how she knows a lawyer that walked in on Christopher Williams giving Diddy fellatio for a demo deal. You know anything about that? You heard about that?
Bruh, I don't know how true that is. I've heard that but I know Christopher Williams. And I know Christopher Williams was a crazy, gangster-ass nigga from Mount Vernon. From up in that area, Westchester. He didn't play that shit. He kept that 3.2 or that 38 on him, and he will shoot the shit out you. You understand? He was rough with his hands with the women. And the story went on and said that a lawyer walked in the office. When she walked in the office, she walked right out, and she said it was a dude, and she said it was Christopher Williams. It was one other brother, I forgot his name, that worked with Bad Boy. Him and Christopher Williams could have been brothers. And if anybody was doing that, it would have been him, not Christopher Williams. Do you understand that? Him and Christopher Williams could have been brothers. That's how close, they had the same look, light skin, and little low on the side, curly hair and stuff like that. I would never believe it was Christopher Williams. You understand? But that other cat, yeah. You got to realize, when you walk into something, it's very few people, if they walk into something like that, they're going to stare there and look and just be all into the shit, right? There's very few people going to do that. When you walk in something that's very inappropriate, you're going to back up out, especially women. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if she's seen a glance, she only going to see a glance. Now, if somebody who looks like Christopher Williams, maybe. But then you got to look at it like this. Was she in the office all the time? I don't remember us having a lawyer in the office like that. Or she was just coming by that particular time, I don't know. I don't know the situation. I want to stay off that, but I know from knowing Christopher Williams, having an altercation with him before, and knowing people that know him, he's some old crazy gangster shit. And why would he? Puff? Nah, bro. Puff wasn't that damn big back then.
Yeah, to see his sons being hacked.
How the f do you force your kids to do your perp walk? That was the worst part, and all I could think about was Kim and Misa.
The girls.
Just her son. He left their son to be walked out backwards on camera for the world to see. Thank God Kimura got the girls. Misa's son. Misa and Wolf's son.
Man.
And Quincy's missing.
Quincy's missing. Oh. And lastly.
After he was questioned by the feds.
After.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection right now. Which means his father ain't never gonna see him again.
Have we seen the last, or is this just the beginning of that saga?
It's just getting started.
True.
Which is why I think people are so uncomfortable about me being in this position right now, because of my press pass and because I'm gonna be in the courtroom for the Keefe D trial. If we get to the bottom of Tupac's murder, when that is finally revealed, 15 other murders will be revealed with it. And you will find that They were all committed by the same two people, father and son.
Were you surprised by Keefe D's arrest for Tupac's murder?
No. I'm just surprised that he hasn't given it up yet. I'm surprised that he hasn't gone to the feds yet because he just got stabbed in jail.
Yes, he did.
He's been beaten 3 times. And I'm going to say it for a fact. I know you the one pulling the strings. Reggie Wright Jr. Stop putting your dirty work on other people. You know exactly what the fuck you are. And so help me God if you don't keep my name out your motherfucking mouth.